Hello everyone and welcome back to a short EP review. In this video I'm going to review Resolution by Current Value and Dauntless. This is a brand new collaborative EP between Current Value, who I've talked about many of his releases before, as he is probably my favorite drum and bass artist of all time, and then there's Dauntless, a name which I haven't heard before. This is my introduction to their sound, and it seems to be a pretty small name with not many releases under their belt, so I didn't really know what to expect out of it, but I was certainly interested to see how this collaboration was going to work out. And getting straight to the point, I'd say that this EP provides some pretty cool stuff. Actually, I'd say that in terms of the very recent Current Value catalog with like the past 1 or 2 years, this feels like one of the better releases he's put out in this period of time. However, I'd say that for the most part we get a pretty standard Neurofunk project from Current Value, and that actually makes me kinda curious in which way Dauntless actually contributed into this release, because for the most part I'd say that this just sounds like your average brand new Current Value release with Neurofunk directions. I'd say that the one thing that feels just slightly different with this release is the overall atmospheres with the introductions, as they could go into some more catchy and soothing elements. The atmospheric patterns don't feel as dark and menacing. Instead, we get some pretty soothing moments when it comes to the overall vibes that this project creates, and even the beats, as far as they go into some pretty standard Neurofunk directions, they're pretty minimal, without really giving that much of an emphasis on being intense or that much convoluted. It feels like a somewhat more straightforward and catchy release, and I believe that in this sense this project provides some pretty cool moments, especially towards the beginning. I really like the variation of the very first track, as it has some different directions when it comes to the melodies and also with the beats. So I do like that there's a lot going on with this song, and I believe that every single direction that it takes sounds pretty cool, and there are some pretty nice transitions as well. However, I'd say that this is another song that suffers from the phenomenon that I see with recent Current Value releases, with tracks feeling somewhat short. I'd say that this could have extended for more than just 4 minutes, like especially with the second drop where we even get a change of direction in the song. It doesn't really stay for all that long. It's pretty short, and it could have extended even more in my opinion, making some of those ideas shine even further and make them stand out even more. Like I said though, a really good track, but the pacing could have done this track even better in my opinion, and I'd say that this is the same case with the next track, Tokyo Drift, which is another excellent song. I really like the directions with the melodies that it takes, the atmosphere behind it, and also towards the second half we get what I would say it's the most unexpected and the most intriguing moment in this entire project, as we have those sort of operatic vocals that at certain portions we also get pitched down versions of them, and I believe that this is a really nice touch, making this song sound quite refreshing and giving a nice twist, making it the most standout song in this EP in my opinion. However, once again I feel that some of the ideas could have extended even further and not just have another 4-minute track. It seems that this changes with the next track, Armor Piercing, which for me at least feels much better and much more well fleshed out in the way it's paced. However, I wouldn't really say that it contains as much of a compelling idea as the previous 2 songs. This is the one moment where, in comparison to the previous 2 tracks, it seems to go back into the darker directions with its overall moods, its vibes, its aesthetics. It feels much more of a dark and haunting song, but the issue that it creates for me is that it makes me struggle even more trying to find the contribution of Dauntless, because this feels like a pretty standard Current Value song in basically everything that it does. I find the beat and the sounds to be pretty decent, the production is once again pretty solid, it is a bit of a more monotone track, not that catchy, but still I'd say that this is a pretty cool moment in the EP. The track Ricochet was not all that great for me. I believe that it's just a pretty decent moment, but it feels slightly underwhelming, as it feels like a somewhat lackluster song. There is not really that much going on with the beats and the minimal elements to it that in my opinion they don't really work that amazingly. There could have been more into this song in my opinion, but it doesn't really lead to anything that special. I believe that it's just a pretty serviceable moment, but that's pretty much it. Finally, there's the track memory leak, which contains some beautiful piano embellishments, and I'd say that once again the atmosphere over here is pretty cool. This is another pretty minimal song in terms of what it does with its beats and with its bass. I'd say it's catchier and it feels more compelling than Ricochet, but I still find it to be a somewhat lackluster moment in certain parts. But with that being said, overall I enjoy the EP. I believe that it's a pretty nice direction that we see Current Value taking with this particular one. There's not really something all that special, but there were some pretty standout moments that went into some bold directions that I haven't really heard of Current Value, at least going to that extent. So yeah, kinda refreshing in some parts, definitely not one of the strongest things I've heard from Current Value, but it gets the job done and there are some pretty cool ideas over here overall. I'm gonna give Resolution a 7 out of 10. What's your opinion on this EP? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.